The Sims 4 Worst Catastrophes. Hello, I'm Demer, and today I'm going to talk about the top 10 worst Sims 4 catastrophes. And well, there are a lot of them, so before I start, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video because, that's very important. And also, don't forget to go on Instant Gaming site, link will be in the fixed comment and description below. You get, lots of games for half the price there, including the Sims 4 and Sims 3, so why not? So now, let's dive into the disasters. The first one I want to talk about is Maxis collabs. My main issue with EA collabs is the fact that most of them feel kind of meaningless because why the hell would you want to collab with Moschino, for example? If you take a look at the Moschino stuff, it's actually very expensive, and I can guarantee that the target audience they're looking for isn't the Sims players. Like in the Sims 2 era, they did great collabs like the H&M and IKEA ones, and to be honest, they were much more attractive, affordable, and relatable to the Sims players. In the Sims 3 era, we also got collabs like the Diesel stuff and the iconic and feared by all Katy Perry Sweet Treats. Yes, I could not wait to bring that back up. But like in the Sims 4, here things feel so forced and badly executed. You could easily not be into Moschino, but if the clothing and the gameplay of the pack was good, you will still buy the pack and enjoy it. But take a look at this terrifying 2008 Lady Gaga wannabe. Same is for the Mac collab, where we got the famous perm eyeliner and also a basic makeup palette with only the Sims logo in it. This is basically my main issue with this kind of collab, and that's why I say they are catastrophes in the Sims 4 era. Secondly, I want to talk about the infamous My First Pet stuff. Be honest with me, we all saw that coming. For those who are into the Sims, My First Pet stuff was a stuff pack released in 2018 to add more content to the Sims 4 Cats and Dogs expansion. But what's the main problem with it? The main problem is that this pack requires you to have the Cats and Dogs pack so that you can play with it. So it's basically DLC for DLC. For those who weren't here, you'll never know how frustrated the Sims community was. And like, they couldn't even bother to change the art style of the pack because some things here look exactly like they came straight out from Cats and Dogs. My theory is that they had the pack ready, but EA told them to split things up so they would profit more, which is a business move. Is it a smart one? No. Because literally everybody hates this pack to this day, and the stuff isn't even that bad. It even came with loads of content. People even like more packs that came with less content than this one, just because you have Cats and Dogs for it, and I agree. Next up is Battu. We are going to talk about Journey to Battu. I know this one is a collab, but with Star Wars, but like, this is so atrocious that it has its own spot in my video. Journey to Battu is a Star Wars themed pack. At the time, the video had more dislikes than likes, and it probably still has. The main issue is more of the same. EA literally making an ad for a Disney Star Wars area in Disneyland where none of the Sims would ever bother to play a pack like that. And the other funny thing here is that neither Simmers or Star Wars fans like the pack. The pack is hated in both sides, so like, they couldn't satisfy anyone. The gameplay is too much Star Wars for the Sims players and too much The Sims for Star Wars players. I remember the first time I tried to play with this pack, I opened my game and I couldn't find a world, but when I found a world, I saw that it had no mods, and I got so pissed that I just turned off my game and never play with it. But then I played with it again and was still pissed because it is horrible. So yeah, this is basically one of the biggest catastrophes in The Sims. Our next topic is the destruction of the Sims timeline. Okay, now I gotta address my storyline or skin. As most of us Simmers know, the Sims first trilogy has a timeline. The timeline starts with The Sims 3 that happens 20 to 25 years before The Sims 1. Here is Sims like Bella Goth, Mortimer, and the Landgrab's son, which I can bother to search the name, are kids. Agnes Crumplebottom and the tragic clown are normal adults living their lives. Then in The Sims 1, we have this Sims starting their families and creating their own careers. While in The Sims 2, that happens 25 years later, here these Sims are all elders or dead, and most of them are finishing their lifetime, and their kids are all grown up. But not only The Sims 4 ruined this concept by creating an alternate lazy timeline, which nothing ever happened, but it also ruined iconic and loved storylines like the Bella Goth conspiracy, which united all the Simmers to discover who killed, abducted, and kidnapped her. Things in The Sims 4 are so shallow and uninteresting. Like, it was so fun to play the new Sims games and catch all the references from the old and iconic storylines, but now it's all gone and everything feels meaningless. Like, if you load into an household, they have literally no backstory. They don't know anybody, they don't have preset relations with other people outside their houses, and I hate that. Like, even Johnny Zest doesn't know his parents. That's just crazy. And I know this happened because of The Sims 4 rushed release, but that's not an excuse anymore. It's been 10 years and they're starting to refresh the families, but they only refresh the looks, they don't refresh the storylines. I will prefer much more a storyline refresh than a look refresh. If you got to this part of the video, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share this video because my channel is growing and I would pretty much appreciate that. So now that you've done that, let's continue. Number 3 is My Wedding Disaster. When we think about The Sims 4 catastrophes, My Wedding Stories is always the one that comes to my mind. It was so bad that is iconic. The real problem with My Wedding Stories was not the theme or the trailer, it was the live stream and the release. They were so messy. I just remember the game glitching at every second, and the creators were desperate and didn't know what to do. They must have felt so scared for their jobs when the game wasn't working properly on the promotional live stream. When the pack released, it was also a total disaster. It ruined wedding forever in The Sims. Like, it is worse than it was before the pack. And now I only have lazy weddings behind my garden because I don't want to play with weddings in The Sims. It is traumatic. The world that came with the pack is actually very nice and the build mode is stunning, but this doesn't make a pack good. So overall, it was a major disaster because the gameplay is a total mess and the whole pack is a total mess. It ruined the whole game. Number 2 is the 20th The Sims anniversary. Well, we all know where we were when The Sims turned 20. Many speculated a remaster from the old Sims games. Others expected innovative Sims 4 updates. Did we get anything of this? No. We got a bathtub. And first of all, the bathtub is atrocious. And other thing that annoyed the players was the fact that it basically turned the Sims 4 perfect patio stuff useless because the main feature of the pack is now free. The community was very angry at EA because it was a special date. The Sims turned 20. But when it turned 21, they actually gave us something better. They gave us a kit of objects, which is nice, but you know, overall it's not a good way to celebrate 2 decades of the most iconic simulation gaming franchise ever. Like, what the hell were they thinking? And our last topic is the Sims 4 release, or should I say The Sims 4 in general. The Sims 4 was announced in May 2013, but the real thing began when the developers of the game started to reveal that features like open world and the color wheel wasn't being released. This obviously upset the community, but it wasn't the worst part. Soon after that, The Sims 4 was released with no toddlers, pools, ghosts, and other very important life simulation features, so it was pretty dramatic. The players made several petitions to delay the game, and most of them didn't understand why The Sims 4 was so limited at release, and still is today, but nowadays we know that it was because of the rushed release of the game, which originally was meant to be online, but it was scrapped after the SimCity disaster. The Sims 4 is still a very unfunctional game, but it is far better today after loads of paid DLC and glitchy updates. Not only this is the biggest The Sims 4 era catastrophe, but I would also consider one of the biggest gaming catastrophes ever. So this is the video. I hope you liked it. So thank you for tuning in. I'll be back soon, Simmers, with more videos or leaks about The Sims 5 because lately The Sims 5 has been leaking a lot. Don't forget to go on Instant Gaming's link in the description, and I'll be back soon. Goodbye, Simmers.